And on today's retro spot, we're going to be looking at the Inhumanoids Earth Core Liquidator. This is probably the saddest of all the Earth Core figures, unfortunately. His legs just look so bad. I mean, he's got these bubble legs going on, and then he's got really, really long arms, but I'll get into that later when I open up the package. This one actually is still sealed, so I'm going to open this one up. No, I am going to open them up, and he's got a water pump backpack and a removable glow-in-the-light helmet. So there we go. Bless me. Excuse me. Yes, he's got a water pump backpack and a removable glow-in-the-light helmet. And if we have a look on the back here, we have Liquidator, his very silly-looking suit there. And now, unlike the other ones, his gimmick is more. Every figure at some point always has to have a water feature, and Liquidator, of course, being his namesake, this one actually does have a pump you can fill up. You can open the plug at the back of his backpack, and then you just put the water in, and he has like a water shooter. His file card here, his real name is Jonathan M. Slattery, codename Liquidator, occupation Spelunker. Semi-professional artist, birthplace San Diego, California, height 6 foot, weight 200 pounds, eyes brown, hair black, and sporting a very mean looking beard. Look at that, eh? A Vietnam vet who is a demolitions expert. Jonathan prefers the tranquil serenity of the subterranean world. He tries to achieve the quiet mellowness of a native Californian, but he possesses a fiery temper. The only peace he ever has known has been under the surface of the earth. A man who usually thinks with his heart, Jonathan has a tendency to take reckless chances, and his heart gets broken so often by the ladies. Poor Liquidator. But there you have Liquidator. A fantastic. I also want to point out the packaging. I like the packaging on the old 80s toys. They are very, very nice. And, I mean, good coloring. They got the brown, and then they got the hand for the humanoids coming up. So, that's nice. I mean, that's Hasbro for you in the 80s. They always were good with packaging, but needless to say, what I'll do is I'll open this guy up, and we will have a closer look at Liquidator. And here's Bubble Legs out of his packaging, or Liquidator as he's also known. He's got, like I was mentioning, probably the silliest of the suits. Could you even fathom anybody walking in this thing? Just the size of it. I mean, clear the runway if this guy's got to be walking through, kind of thing. But he's just so silly. He's got these really long arms, which is an interesting thing to point out, because if I bring in Herc Armstrong again, the scale to, even though he's got a really, really small head, the scale to his arms at least is accurate to the suit that he's wearing. If we look then at Liquidator, and are we to assume that his hands are here? Because if his hands are here, that would mean his arms are way down. It doesn't seem right, especially for the size of his head, which I also want to point out. Perhaps we've now discovered why Liquidator's not good with the ladies. Look at the mug on that, eh? Poor Liquidator. His way of accessories, there's a couple. He comes with his helmet, which looks like a tooth. Does it not look like a tooth to you? Like a molar? His helmet does fit on the top here. So has it improved the figure? Not at all, actually. But there's also a hole on the back of his back here, and there's also a little peg on his backpack. That peg can go into here. I think it can go into there, or maybe up there. I don't know, which way would you guys put it? I guess it probably looks right that way. I don't know. I guess with the button and everything. And then he also has a hose. And the idea is that you can fill this up with water, and then there's a little hose that goes into here, and then that little hose, which just fell out, But needless to say, the hose can go then into his arm. And I don't know if you can see it all that well, but his arm has this little tiny hole there. And the idea is when you put that hole in, or when you put the tube on there, and you put the tube on here, and then you can pump it like so. And what ends up happening is that he shoots water out of the front of his arm here. So that's kind of interesting. There is some saving grace to this figure. One thing I didn't actually point out when I was doing the review on the other figures was just the actual size of these. I mean, you don't know how big my hands are. For all you know, I could have little dwarf hands. But just to give you guys a size comparison here, if we bring in a G.I. Joe, look at the size of this G.I. Joe, this 25th anniversary G.I. Joe, and we put it down next to Liquidator here. And I never have luck standing these guys right away, but there we go. Nope. Well, I'll hold them. You can see the tremendous size difference between the two of these guys, and I'm going to bring this guy in later when I do eventually the review of the Inhumanoids themselves, because you're going to be thrown back by how big these things are. But we'll move this guy aside here, and focusing back on Liquidator. He has a lot of bright coloring, I'll give him that, but the figure itself is, it's alright. I mean, it's I still prefer Augur over him. But there you have a retro spot on Inhumanoids Earth Core Liquidator. And with that, I'll see you guys next time.